morning and good luck. And welcome back to Good Luck with Gino. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and you're watching episode 126 of the fastest growing podcast in the world. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the show, save it to your device, and send it to a loved one, an arch nemesis, or your ops. If you're watching on YouTube like you should be, isn't that right, Gengar? Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You're going to do that by smashing the fuck out of that subscribe button. And then you're going to go ahead and grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment because, well, you're an oil man. So head on over to Dubai, stop by the Riyadh Comedy Festival, grab some oil, and leave a comment. Let's get into the week. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I have had a really, really fucked up 72 hours. Really weird week for me. First of all, I'm down about 6 figures from the crypto crash. Finally less now, but when it happened on Friday, which we'll get into, I think at the lowest of lows, I was down about 150 grand. And that happened in the span of about 30 minutes. Now, obviously, you know, you don't lose until you sell, but not great. Not great. Not great. So that was pretty bad. And yeah, we'll get into that. That's going to be our main story this week. Spoiler alert. The next morning, Saturday morning, I had to talk a friend out of killing themselves because he lost $3 million in the crash. And so that was really tough. His entire portfolio got wiped out, zeroed out. And so I'm on the phone with him and, you know, really, and also talking to myself because I was greatly humbled in this crash. And I'm explaining like, look, money doesn't matter. None of this shit's real. Money isn't real. Like, I know this seems like the worst thing in the world, but like life is about experiences and life and the people you love. And this too shall pass and you'll make it back and, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm like, you know, look, I'm going to a lunch meeting in Echo Park. So I'm like, hey, I'm headed to a lunch meeting. Let me, you know, hang in there, brother. Like, I'm going to hit you, check on you today, blah, 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 blah. I go to park my car and I'm in like Echo Park. If you're not familiar with Echo Park is like part of Echo Park is super gentrified and being like Whole Foods and Erewhon. And then the other half of Echo Park near South LA is not quite there yet. And this place is in that part of Echo Park. So I go to park and there's nowhere to park on the main road. So I have to like pull into this neighborhood and there's like no fucking parking. I'm like driving down this residential street. I go like 2 blocks down this street. I finally find a spot. I get out of my car. Mind you, I'm wearing all my shit, you know, because I like to look nice. And I'm like maybe 100 feet from my car. And a all black murdered out Mercedes AMG turns down the street and starts creeping behind me. Windows fully tinted. And I like look back, I see it, instantly have a terrible feeling. I can't explain it. In the pit of my stomach, something just instantly felt bad about it. And this car's like creeping. And I hear them say something out the window and I can't really hear them. And I'm like walking on the sidewalk and then they get a little bit closer and I hear, hey, SA, I got a question, bro. Come here, bro. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this is, you know, and I like pull out my phone and I'm like fake on my phone. I'm walking down the sidewalk, pretending again, like I don't hear them. And they pull up next to me and the guy in the back, they roll the window down. Mind you, like all tinted windows, rolls the window down. There's 5 Hispanic dudes in the car. 2 in the back have like blue bandanas on. The one next to the guy by the window has a gun in his lap. And the guy leans out the window and he's like, "Hey, fool, I got a question, bro. Come here." And I'm like, "Hey, sorry, I'm in a hurry, man. I'm running late, And he's like, "No, real quick, fool, just come here, bro." And I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, man. Like, I'm running late. Yeah, I gotta go." And I'm just I'm like, I'm getting robbed. For sure. And I just in the 5 seconds that this is all transpiring, I'm taking inventory and clocking everything. I'm like, all right, I'm just giving up all my shit. Like, I'm not gonna die a hero and like try to fight back or like try to fucking I'm just not doing that. If they hop out on me, that's it, And I've had some close run-ins before, but this felt, I don't know, man. I just had like a really nasty, I felt like it was about to go left. And I'm trying to act cool because I don't want to look like a bitch. Because if you look like a bitch, they really, you got to it's kind of like running into a bear in the woods. You got to be, And so I'm just walking and I'm on the phone. I start kind of like faking a phone call. I'm like, "Yo, I'm trying to find you." I'm like, "Where are you at? I don't see you anywhere." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm right by the cafe. Are you on?" And I'm like reading the street name. I'm like, "Are you on da 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 da?" And so they try to pull into a driveway in front of me on the sidewalk. I'm walking on the sidewalk. They pull ahead and they try to turn into this driveway to like cut me off. But there's a car parked on the side of the street that's like blocking the driveway. Like some car parked like an asshole. And so they couldn't turn into this driveway. So the driver like quickly like whips back onto the side street and speeds up to a 4-way stop to try to hit a U-turn like in the street to circle the block on me and come back. As soon as I see him do that, I plant my foot in the ground and I sprint to my car. Whew. No shame. Out. Dead sprint. And I parked like left, like fortunately it was not far from my car. It was maybe like 150 feet from my car, and I'm still an athlete. So I like brake left. I jump in my whip. I don't think they saw what car I was in or knew where I went. I peel off and I like call, I'm like the person I'm meeting and I'm like, "Yo, we got to go somewhere else. I just almost got robbed." And I like wait in front. I go back to the main road and I'm kind of like waiting for them to get dropped off in front of the cafe. And I'm looking to see if I see these people. And sure enough, this fucking AMG like creeps out back onto the main road. And the dude's like looking around. They fucking turn back around. They're like, they go back down the street. They're like circling. I saw them like 3 times. And I'm not going to lie, like ended up obviously going somewhere else for lunch. It happened, and my adrenaline was going so crazy, and I went about my day. I had a great day. Like I had that lunch at a different cafe, and then went to like this really cool songwriter event at Justin Trainer's house. Met a lot of people, saw a lot of friends, felt great. Went out to the bar after, and on my way to the bar, it kind of just all hit me. I got like overcome with like, holy fuck, I almost died. Like I could have those things go sideways all the time. They might have hopped out and just put a gun in my fucking face and robbed me and then maybe like fucking pistol whip me and let me go or whatever the fuck. Or they could have just shot me and took it because it's faster. Or they didn't want me to see them. They weren't wearing masks. Nobody was wearing a mask. So they would have popped out on me, and I'm grateful that I'm not I have street sense and I knew not to walk up to the car because that's how they get you, like broad daylight. They'll be like, yo, come here, bro. And then you walk up to the car and then they fucking put the gun at the window and they're like, "Run it." Somebody hops out, run it. And that's it, But it really fucked me up, man. And I hate to start the episode with such a somber tone, but A, be careful. Me to myself. B, this shit doesn't matter. None of this shit matters. Whether it's a fucking crash, investments or whatever, I just kind of took inventory of all the things in my life and the people in my life. And it was a very sobering experience. So then I went and got drunk a little bit and to try to drown it. But yeah, man, I almost canceled today's episode because I was really shaken up and I've just been trying to gather my thoughts, but I can't let my ops win. I knew if I canceled this episode today, I would let my ops win, and we can't do that, I'm coyote ready still. And this one goes out to my ops. I miss my ops. They're dead. They're dead. I miss my ops. You heard what I said. Hell yeah. I miss my ops. They're dead. They're dead. I miss my ops. You heard what I said. My ops kept me alive. Now they're dead and I cry. I can't slide. I can't slide. I wish they didn't die so I could hit them with that fire. Like old times. Like old times. Dude, that's what I'm fucking talking about. Cluner. Detroit legend. Cluner! Shout out to my ops, man. Still a bad day to be my ops, despite a bad day. We're going to get into the main story. It is a heavy one. I don't know about that. But it's a dramatic one. How about that? Our main story is about the greatest crash in the history of any financial market, which happened 2 days ago. And I'm sure many of you maybe didn't even know if you're not in crypto. But let's run back the clock. Let's rewind to Friday. So 5 minutes after markets closed for the weekend on Friday, Donald Trump announced a 100% increase on tariffs to China. Because, of course he did. And what happened next was historic. Biblical, even. $19 billion were wiped out from the crypto market in the largest cascade in history, in the history of any financial market. For reference, this was over 9 times more extreme than COVID. 9 times the amount was wiped. Here's what happened in simple terms, because you may be wondering, how the fuck did that happen? Basically, crypto, there's two ways you can trade crypto. You, like any investment, really, you can buy in spot, which is what I do, which is you buy, you own it. I buy 1 Bitcoin. I have 1 Bitcoin in my wallet. I own 1 Bitcoin, right? That's called spot trading. You buy, you sell. You buy, you sell. You buy, you sell. However, crypto is largely propped up on leverage. Much of the economy is propped up on leverage. Crypto is no exception. So crypto runs on leverage, meaning people borrow money to make bigger bets. So you can put up $1,000 to borrow $9,000, and now you've got a $10,000 position, but you're risking that $1,000. Depending on how much you're borrowing and how risky your bet is, you stand to make or lose more money. Great if the market goes up, but if it drops even a little, that borrowed position gets decimated and or can get liquidated, which is basically when the exchange automatically sells it off to cover the debt. Okay, I know it's a little confusing, but I'm trying to break it down for you. It's good to know anyway in general. So Trump posts this tweet. Prices start crashing immediately after Trump's tariff announcement. That triggers a wave of liquidations. People with leveraged longs, which are people that bet that the price would go up, start getting wiped out. So, you got longs and shorts. Somebody that's long is leverage trading that the price is going to go up. So they're leveraged with longs. A short, which we'll get to, is when you think that the market is going to go down and you leverage your position and are betting and gambling that the price is going to go down. Leverage trading is basically gambling. However, people study charts and they've been doing it for a long time and they're disciplined. And even though they're being more risky than just spot trading, this is how they do it. So once big positions start getting liquidated, it pushes down the price further, which triggers more liquidations, which pushes down the price further, which triggers more liquidations. It's a feedback loop, a cascade. So what happens is we have this flash crash, and exchanges like Binance, Hyperliquid, and OKX saw a billion. I think that it was within 3 minutes they saw $3 billion in leveraged accounts implode, completely wiped. Bots sold off everything, order books thinned out, and market makers pulled out, which left no buyers. So prices fell off a cliff and accounts went to zero. A lot of people have like stop losses set, but it crashed so drastically, so quickly, it blew through the stop losses and people's accounts were completely wiped to cover the debts of the order book. So by the time the smoke cleared, over $19 billion in value was gone. Not a hack, not a big sell order, but because thousands of over-leveraged traders all got margin called at once. And the crash happened so quickly, nobody saw it happen or saw it coming because it just, with one tweet. It's like everybody leaning too far over the same side of the boat, and the boat's kind of rocking a little, it's leaning a little bit, but then suddenly a tidal wave appears out of nowhere and flips the whole fucking thing. The tidal wave, of course, is Donald Trump posting a temper tantrum about Xi Jinping. Every exchange runs on what's called an order book. So that's a list. An order book is basically just a list of who's buying and selling at what prices and how much. The higher the volume, the safer the price stability, usually. But for smaller tokens or altcoins, those books are thin. Maybe a few $1,000s of liquidity at each price level, $100,000 here, whatever. So a lot of people it's not just Bitcoin and Solana and Ethereum. There's a bunch of altcoins that people have positions on. And when a big trader decides to sell a large position or gets liquidated, when an automated liquidation hits and dumps everything at once, there's not enough buyers to stop it. So the price free falls through every level of the order book until it hits the bottom. Sometimes literally zero. Coins with $100 million market caps, $1 billion market caps went to zero. The market just evaporates for a few seconds, like Thanos, and then just. Now, sometimes prices bounce back within minutes, but once market makers or bots refill the book, it's often too late because, again, those people were liquidated, like my friend, who wasn't, I think he was trading on like 3x leverage, completely wiped out. People were zeroed out. Now, that's not the main story. That's a big deal, but that's me setting up the main story. Because the crash is a big story, but the main story is what happened 30 minutes before the crash. An hour or so before the crash. And for that, I'm going to have to change glasses. Because it's time for a Pit Viper Mega Rant. Pit Viper Mega Rant! So, 30 minutes before Trump's tariff announcement, a brand new Hyperliquid account deposited millions of dollars and opened a massive short on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Hyperliquid is a leveraged trading platform where you can open leveraged longs and leveraged shorts, perp trading, basically, trading perps on crypto positions. So, some mysterious random person created a fresh, brand new Hyperliquid account, deposited like $30 million, and just decided to open a huge short position on very, very high leverage. 30 minutes before Donald Trump posted his tweet about the 100% tariff. When the tariff news dropped, this account banked over $200 million in profit. Wow. That's one lucky trader. Wow. Great instincts there. I wonder what inkling told him, I should deposit tens of millions of dollars and just go high leverage on short right now. Something tells me. I just got this. Yeah, I was looking at my horoscope and I had some Chinese food and cracked open a fortune cookie and it said 10x long. Or 10x short, rather. So, but wait, there's more. Because more suspiciously, the Trump's family crypto token World Liberty Financial, WLFI, flash crashed about 30% when a whale sold his entire position a few hours before the Trump tweet. So a couple of hours before the Trump tweet, while everything is up on the day, World Liberty Financial has a 30% drop for no reason. Giant sell order. Well, then coincidentally, a large sum of money is then sent to Hyperliquid to open a short on a fresh brand new account. Well, that's just so interesting. And guys, I don't know if you know this, but it doesn't matter because crime is legal now. You can do whatever you want. You can inside trade now. You can do it so blatantly, so obviously, on the blockchain where everybody can see it, broad daylight. And it just doesn't matter. The market nukes. This random mysterious insider makes $200 million. BlackRock buys $30 million in Bitcoin and Ethereum at the very bottom, and suddenly millions of dollars in longs start opening on more mysterious Hyperliquid accounts. And right on cue, wouldn't you know it, Donald Trump tweets today, "Don't worry about China. It'll all be fine. Highly respected President Xi just had a bad moment. He doesn't want a depression in his country, and neither do I." And the market is right back. I can just imagine Barron Trump saying, "Hey, Dad, just close my short, and I'm up about 200 million. You can go ahead and drop that new Xi Jinping tweet, yeah? Yeah, can you go ahead and fire off a new Xi Jinping tweet and talk about how much you love and respect them, and just say the tariff thing was it was just a big joke. It was just posturing. I just went long, so if you could go ahead and fire that off, yeah?" So to recap, the president nukes the market on a Friday afternoon and erases $19 billion so his cronies and family could make hundreds of millions of dollars. And then fixes it right before market open. Lives ruined, an entire asset class pushed to its brink. Many people killed themselves, two very publicly. I spend an hour of my day talking just a man off the ledge whose life is ruined. Now, granted, when you're playing with leverage, you're taking a risk. You are gambling, and I think you have to take responsibility, obviously. But this is just blatant corruption. Again. Jail. For everybody involved. Jail. Where's the Attorney General? Oh, that's right. She's a slappy. She's not bipartisan. She's going around talking about radical left Democrats and how she's going to take them down. These people don't have to answer to anybody. Crime is legal. You can do whatever you want now. It doesn't matter. The government's shut down and Trump is selling fucking Trump watches and getting Qatar jets and just doing whatever the fuck he wants, enriching himself. I just read an article that Barron Trump has made $80 million in crypto since his father's been the president. Surely he's just a lucky trader. Surely he's just blessed. Surely he's just got great instincts. Surely nobody will face any justice for this because it just doesn't matter. MAGA will look the other way. They'll justify it. They'll do some mental gymnastics. The beauty of crypto is the lack of regulation, obviously. However, this is an example of the fallout of that. When the people running the country are corrupt, when you basically have Kwame Kilpatrick in the Oval Office that uses power and policy like levers to enrich themselves in their inner circle, decentralization does not protect you. It becomes another battlefield, and you are not equipped. I'm begging you, do not play with leverage. It doesn't matter how good you are and how disciplined you are. People had their entire portfolios wiped. I've been in crypto for many, many years. I've been in the community amongst these people for 5 years, actively trading with them. These people are brilliant. Yes, they're slightly degenerate, but they're disciplined. They've spent really their whole lives these past 5 years building up their portfolio, trying to change their life, creating generational wealth, and they were wiped out in a minute. Gone, all of it. Retail traders zeroed out so the swamp could cash in. This was a mass extraction event from the hands of the everyday man to an insider and to insiders. People that were privy to this information. It's a giant party and you're not invited. You're outside the club and you can't get in. Sorry, you're not on the list. This is another example of what happens when greed and governance collide. And it's really disheartening. And I'm going to be fine because, again, I'm playing in spot and I knew what's going to happen. I mean, it's the third time he's done it. He crashes the market. Everybody and people are short when it happens, and then they all buy in the bottom, and then he fires off another tweet, and the market goes back up. What the fuck are we doing? And it's such an easy copy trade. It was such a no-brainer to buy immediately after this crash because he's in the midst of a government shutdown. He's not going to let the fucking stock market crash too. So I don't know, man. And that's all I really got to say about that. We do have a little bit more politics to cover, but I'm not going to cover these politics. We're going to go ahead and hand it over to lead political correspondent Gino Borri over at GNN. I'm going to put the Cardis back on, and let's let Gino take it away from the news. Gino, what's going on in the world? Welcome to GNN, your leading source of news, politics, and this week, circumcisions. And now your host, Gino Borg. Good afternoon, I'm your host, Gino Bori, and this is the news. Fellas, you got any foreskin? Fellas, you got any foreskin? Quick foreskin check. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure, I'm just trying to find out where you land on the autism spectrum.
There's 2 studies that show children who are circumcised early have double the rate of autism. It's highly likely because they're given Tylenol. Oh, none of this is dispositive, but all of it is stuff that we should be paying attention to.
Got it. Welp. Guess I'm on the spectrum. What about girls? Do girls have autism? Are they circumcised? Okay, fellas, circumcised son or whore daughter? I woke up hungover as fuck today, and I had to take like 400 milligrams of autism. But it's okay because I'm circumcised, so it doesn't matter. Turns out I'm already on the spectrum, I guess. I wonder if there's any correlation between autism and brainworms. Or did RFK's mother just eat Tylenols for breakfast? Just a bowl full of fucking Tylenol before she birthed him. Like, yeah, we're finding that children with circumcisions are more likely to have autism, probably because they were taking Tylenol. So because they're taking Tylenol. So it has nothing to do with... So correlation is not causation. How are these people running the country? Anyway, let's check in on democracy. Quick vibe check here. Let's see what's going on. Donald Trump, quick democracy vibe check.
1-year penalty for inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away because that's been through the courts, and the court said you have freedom of speech. But what has happened is when they burn a flag, it agitates and irritates crowds. I've never seen anything like it on both sides, and you end up with riots. So we're going on that basis. We're looking at it not from the freedom of speech, which I always felt strongly about, but never passed the courts.
Good. Great. So we're taking the freedom of speech away. Got it. Nice. Yeah, burning a flag is protected by the First Amendment, but it just doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, we took it away. Yeah, it's just not. No, it's fine. Yeah, you can't do it. No, no. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Constitution it just doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, the First Amendment. Yeah, freedom of speech. Oh, you guys are MAGA. You guys are big freedom of speech people, right? Yeah, but not here, right? Nah, it just doesn't. It doesn't matter. This was at the government ANTIFA roundtable emergency meeting that happened this past week. Yeah, let's see what else happened at that ANTIFA roundtable. Yeah, here's a fun clip.
ANTIFA is real. ANTIFA has been around in various iterations for almost 100 years in some instances, going back to the Weimar Republic in Germany.
Oh, in the Weimar Republic of Germany. Yeah, and who were the anti-fascists fighting in Weimar? Yeah, and who were they fighting in Weimar? Antifa, which, again, stands for anti-fascist. Who was Antifa fighting in Germany? Gengar, do you know? Pikachu? Pika. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, they were fighting the fascists? Oh, Antifa stormed the beaches of Normandy. My grandfather served in World War II. I guess he was Antifa. No, but they're claiming that Antifa is this brainchild mastermind organization that is a threat to the United States of America. Here's Kristi Noem talking about ISIS.
We arrested recently in Portland was the girlfriend of one of the founders of Antifa, and that we are hoping that as we go after her, interview her, and prosecute her, we will get more and more information about the network and how we can root them out and eliminate them from the existence of American society. I want to thank the new journalists here today for telling their stories and for being able and willing to go to the streets and to cover what's happening here in America. Many times the legacy media has looked the other way, refused to tell the stories. The networks have not really focused on what this is and what damage it is doing to our country, and how this network of Antifa is just as sophisticated as MS-13, as TDA, as ISIS, as Hezbollah, as Hamas, as all of them. They are just as dangerous. They have an agenda to destroy us, just like the other terrorists we've dealt with for many years. And today is the day that we have a president that won't tolerate it and will stand up and fight for the American people. So thank you for being here, for being so bold, and for standing in the gap at such a time as this.
Are you guys fucking falling for this, man? Who's falling for this? Serious question. Antifa is just as fucking organized and dangerous as ISIS? I mean, they're eating this shit up. Oh, you arrested the girlfriend of the founder of Antifa? I thought it was over 100 years old. Is he 100? Again, Antifa does not exist as an organization. It's just people that are anti-fascist that protest. Democracy is inherently anti-fascist. At least it's supposed to be. But now we're celebrating it. They're saying it out loud. They are literally hosting a round table saying this imaginary organization that's called anti-fascist is a danger to America. Oh yeah, and Antifa is protesting masked Gestapo arresting people off the street with no warrant, no causation, just scooping them up. Okay. And in more authoritarian news, let's check in on Kristi Noem here. Just got back from the airport the other day and was greeted with this fine message from Kristi Noem. They're running this in airports right now across the United States. Here you go.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. It is TSA's top priority to make sure that you have the most pleasant and efficient airport experience as possible while we keep you safe. However, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay. We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel. And our hope is that Democrats will soon recognize the importance of opening the government.
I mean, what are we doing, man? Just propaganda right in broad daylight. Hatch Act violation being spread like wildfire. I mean, this reads like a Helldivers bit. I feel like I'm playing Helldivers. This is like the middle square on authoritarian bingo. I'm going to start paid propaganda for everybody at Spirit Airlines. It's going to be my face at the gate of Spirit Airlines. Like, the radical Marxist Spirit Airlines are a threat to democracy. You know? I can't wait for this fucking heretic to be in prison, dude. I'm gonna throw a Kristi Noem in prison party. You're all invited. I mean, what a fucking disaster, dude. It's gonna be a quicker episode today, guys. We are gonna do everyone's favorite segment. We are gonna do the FOH HOF, the fuck out of here Hall of Fame. However, no FOH HOF intro today because we only got one clip. And again, I want to apologize for not giving you a full buffet of the Good Luck with Gino show. But, you know, maybe I got to keep you guys hungry. Maybe every once in a while, it's a little bit smaller of a course. You're getting a little too gluttonous, you know? So we're going to do everyone's favorite segment. We're going to do the fuck out of here Hall of Fame. But it is perhaps an instant classic. Brought to us by an FOH HOF Hall of Fame legendary member. His jersey's retired in the Entrepreneur Bro rafters. That, of course, is Grant Cardone, who's brought us this absolute classic of a clip. Grant, what do you have to say to us today?
400 grand's like a no-brainer. That's how you make 400 grand. You put it in your calculator and say, I make 400 grand. Oh. And I divide it by 365. That means I need to make $1,095. If you've ever made $1,095.11, you can make 400 grand because I just showed you how easy it is. But if I wanted to make it easier than that, I'd be like, divide by 24 hours. If you've ever made $45, then you can make 400 grand. If you can make $45 one time and then multiply it, you can make 400 grand. Now, the question is whether you can make it in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. You're going to make it. Same thing with $1 million. This could be 45 million. Just take the 45 million, break it down, make it easy on yourself. How many times do I need to do X in order to collect whatever the number is, right? And break the math down so it's easy for you.
Yeah. Okay. So hold on. 4 billion. Cool. I'm rich. Thanks, Grant. $4.6 billion. Oh, wait, no. Oh, it's not. It still isn't in my bank account. Is this feature only on the new iPhone? How do I transfer it from here? How do I transfer it from my calculator app to my Chase app? So you just multiply it? And then you divide it by how many days are in a year. And then you just have it, yeah? So 365 divided by 24. So I just have to make, I have to just make $533,000 in a day. I've made that before. So I've made it. So then that's it. So then I just multiply it and then I have $4.6 billion. Do I have to buy the course before I can learn how to do that? Why open a bank account or start an investment portfolio when you can just buy a TI-98 calculator? Is that was it a TI-98? Dude, I don't even remember. Yeah, TI-98. I haven't said that out loud in like maybe 15 years. Have you ever considered just making money? He said, have you ever made $45 one time? Well, I can assure you, in your lifetime, you can make $400,000 then, eventually, maybe, probably, potentially. It might just take you your entire lifetime. Yeah, and then why stop there? You can make 45 million. Just use division. The key to generational wealth is PEMDAS. It's just that simple. Here, I can show you. Let's do it again. So, 0, 0. Have you ever... Okay, good. So, have you ever touched boobs before? You can make $80,000 in $85. Just like that. And why stop at boobs? You 10x it and make boobies. Have you ever touched boobies before? Well, you can make $8 million. Look at that. You just got to touch a pair of boobies. If you can touch 10 pairs of boobies before 30, you can have generational wealth. Now you're calculating boobs. You're growing your net titty worth. And what you can do is you can get 10 women, you got 10 pair of boobs, and then they start touching boobs, and now your boobies, they're calculating different sets of boobies, and now you've got hundreds of thousands of boobies. You turned your mom palace into a strip club of sorts, and then you grab the four corners of that strip club, you put them in your pocket, right? And then you pull from your pocket, you pull out your iPhone, open your calculator app, and then you place those four corners of the boobies. You place the four sets of titties in your calculator, and you got boobies, and now you got $8 million. Link in bio. Thanks, Grant. Yeah, guys, that's going to do it for today. Again, quicker episode today. I got a lot of exciting stuff coming in the next couple of weeks. I'm really excited to share with you guys. We will have a more jam-packed, lighter episode hopefully next week, unless there's just another traumatic event that happens in the world or in my life. Hopefully not, knock on wood. But I do want to thank you for tuning in this week. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you save it to your device, subscribe, give it a 5-star review, send it to your ops or your loved ones. And then you're going to head on over to YouTube and you're going to watch it again like you should be. You're going to tap that like button on YouTube. You're going to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. A lot of you watch the show, but you're not subscribed. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it right now. Look right now. Look right now. Open the YouTube app. You're on Spotify or Apple Music. You have the YouTube app. Close the calculator app. Stop typing boobies. Go to YouTube. Like, subscribe, grease the algorithm. Because that brings me more money. It puts more boobies in my bank account. And anyway, thank you for tuning in this week, guys. Beyonce, I do want to thank you. I want to thank my guardian angel for saving me from getting fucking snuffed in Echo Park this week. And I want to thank my ops for giving me motivation to just shit on them every day. It is truly an honor. And until next week, as democracy continues to crumble and the Trump crime family continues to just rake in hundreds of millions of dollars at your expense, good night and good luck.
Everybody listen close. There's a brand new show that you gotta know. It's called Good Luck with Gino. It's gonna get you moving, get you in the zone. Good luck, good vibes, good times with Gino by your side. You'll be feeling fine. Every week he's gonna bring the hype. Woo! So come on, let's go. Tune in online. Good vibes, good times with Gino. It's gonna be a real delight. So get ready to laugh, learn and grow. Good luck, let's go.
Boobies.